Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us, coming to you from Washington's premier indoor shooting facility. Of course, that's Security Gun Club right here in Woodinville, Washington, giving you a slightly different perspective on things today. Why? Because I ran out of sunlight and can't use that to shoot in my normal location. Hey, we are rapidly approaching the beginning of 2024, and the bloodbath of a legislative session that we had last summer, well, we're not done being bled out yet, because we have several new laws which are going to take effect come the first of the year. Many people are not talking about it. And if you want to get ahead of the curve and maybe do something before these laws become effective, well, now might be the time. So today, let's spend a few minutes and let's talk about new year, new gun laws for those in Washington State. Okay, so here's what we're talking about. We're talking about House Bill 1143. It started as a pre-purchasing licensing requirement. That would have been real interesting if that was going into effect. Eventually got whittled down into a pre-purchasing educational requirement, as well as a couple of other things that you need to be aware of. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the three big changes that go into effect come January 1st because of House Bill 1143. The first one is the background check system that you will be subjected to. Currently, everyone in the state of Washington goes through a NICS background check effective January 1st of this year. Instead, you will be going through a Washington State Patrol database records check. Now, that has been in development since this bill became legislation. However, God only knows if the State Patrol is actually ready to launch that, and God only knows if the system will actually work. So again, I would concern anybody who's seen other states move to new database systems or new background check systems and the absolute horrific problems they've had, that if in fact you are in the market for a new firearm, you might want to get in before the beginning of the year. Okay, now the second thing I need you to be aware of is that effective January 1st, 2024, you will have to have completed a state-certified firearms safety course before you can even purchase a firearm. Now, this initially started as a pre-purchasing licensing requirement. It would have been very interesting to see if that law would have been going into effect January 1st, considering what's happened in Oregon and Maryland in the last couple of weeks. Good work by the Republicans in both the House and Senate. They were able to get this thing significantly whittled down. However, in order to be able to be qualified to purchase a firearm, there have been amendments now to RCW 9.41.090, as well as a new addition to the RCWs that requires a mandatory education class be completed. Now, under the newly amended RCW 9.41.090, a person is not qualified to receive a firearm from an FFL until they provide proof of completion of a recognized firearm safety training program within the last 5 years that complies with the requirements in Section 2 of this Act, or proof that the purchaser is exempt from the training requirement. So, of course, you then begin to wonder, well, what exactly does that training requirement entail? Well, it's all right here in the legislation, and it includes the following. A person applying for the purchase or transfer of a firearm must provide proof of completion of a recognized firearm safety training program within the last 5 years that at a minimum includes instruction on A, basic firearm safety rules, B, firearms and children, including secure gun storage and talking to children about gun safety, C, firearms and suicide prevention, D, secure gun storage to prevent unauthorized access and use, E, safe handling of firearms, F, state and federal firearm laws, including prohibited firearm transfers and locations where firearms are prohibited, G, state laws pertaining to the use of deadly force for self-defense, and H, techniques for avoiding a criminal attack and how to manage a violent confrontation, including conflict resolution. And we all recognize how many lives that will save. These courses can only be offered by the following. The training must be sponsored by a federal, state, county, or municipal law enforcement agency, a college or university, a nationally recognized organization that customarily offers firearms training, or a firearms training school with instructors certified by a nationally recognized organization that customarily offers firearms training. The proof of training shall be in the form of a certification that states under penalty of perjury that the training included the minimum requirements. And for those of you who graduated from the very rigorous 1639 safety class offered by our good friends at Sporting Systems down in Vancouver, I understand that they have already put together a fantastic and quite rigorous class. We're going to link it up down below so you could go ahead and complete your safety training. Now, in some instances, those who go through the training may actually get to hear some wonderful stories, because the legislature also suggested the training may include stories provided by individuals with lived experience in the topics listed in subsection 1A through 1G of this section, or an understanding of the legal and social impacts of discharging a firearm. And then third, and most important, and this may really get you to, I don't know, just run to your local FFL right now before the beginning of the year. But as we know, under Washington state law, depending on the platform of firearm that you are purchasing, there may or may not be a waiting period. If you are purchasing a bolt-action rifle, a pump-action shotgun, a lever-action rifle, or anything like that, as soon as the background check clears, you're able to take those particular firearms. Now, if you're purchasing a handgun or semi-automatic rifle, back in the days when you could purchase that latter, then as you know, there was a certain statutory waiting period which you must comply with before you could take possession of those, regardless of the status of your background check. However, House Bill 1143 has significantly now altered RCW 9.41.092 in this fashion right here, so that essentially, regardless of the platform of firearm that you are going to be purchasing, there will be a 10-day waiting period, which means, if you want to buy one of these, or 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 one of these, if you wanted to, or even one of these, or 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 even one of these, you will be undergoing a minimum 10-day waiting period. And then also remember that under this new law, you will be waiting for that background period to clear no matter how long it takes. So it's not like the current system where after an expired period of time, the FFL can, if they choose to, release the firearm to you. Under new Washington state law, if it takes 40 days, 60 days, 80 days, you're waiting that long until you can take receipt of that firearm. Now, all three of these laws, again, are scheduled to go into effect on January 1st of 2024. If you want to get in before these laws take effect, I would suggest you contact your local FFL right away. The bill, once again, is House Bill 1143. It amended multiple sections of the RCWs. We will link all of them up below, so if you want to geek out on them for yourself, you can do so. In the meantime, if you got any question about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you guys should know how to get a hold of Washington gun law by now. If you don't, that's okay. That information is also down in the description box. Now, in the meantime, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching, and stay safe.
Yeah. Joe, you get a driver's license, right?
Hang on. Or one of these, if you wanted to. Or one of these. You want to do that again? Okay.
That can be the bloopers.
Here we go. And then also remember that, are you literally trying to with me?
No, I can't get past you now, so go.
Oh, okay.